Okay.
Jesse Ronald Shirley, location 3846 Fuller Mill Road, Thomasville, North Carolina, 27360. 71 years old. 1965, I was aboard the USS Independence, CVA 62. We deployed out of Norfolk, Virginia in May of 1965, going to Westpac to support ground troops in South Vietnam and to launch bombing strikes against North Vietnam out of Haiphong Harbor against Ho Chi Minh City, I think it's called now. It was called Hanoi back then. I have about a three and a half minute video of our Westpac cruise showing some of the ship's crew, the jobs that we did aboard the aircraft carrier. When off the coast of South Vietnam, we were in support of ground troops that were fighting the insurgents from the north, using air support to support them. And when in the north, we were bombing strategic targets around Haiphong Harbor and other sites in North Vietnam that included some of the SAM surface-to-air missile sites.
Alright, so when and where were you born?
I was born in High Point, North Carolina, about 10 miles from here, 1945, March 29th. That makes me 71 years old.
What were you doing before you became a part of the Vietnam War?
I was a United States sailor from 1962 until 1965 before I became part of the Vietnam War.
How did the experiences that you had during the Vietnam War affect your life?
I was never in country, but seeing some of the destruction that was a result of bombs that we made was shocking, to say the least. It's sad that human beings would ever go to war, but at the time we thought we were doing what our country wanted.
What are some life lessons you learned from the Vietnam War?
Hard work and perseverance pays off. Our average day when we were on the line was anywhere from 12 to 18 hours per day. We worked a 12-hour bomb assembly, and every other day we were still responsible for cleaning our berthing compartments, doing our shopping at the ship's store, and whatever other personal items had to be done. So patience and perseverance after 12 hours of bomb assembly and then doing your own ship's work and all was quite trying. Sometimes you find yourself sleeping, standing up, in a chow line, no less. It happened to me only once. A fellow started shaking me, and I said, "What's the matter?" He says, "I thought you were dying." I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, your eyes was rolled back in your head." He said, "But when I heard you snoring, I realized you were just asleep." So, a lot of perseverance there.
What message would you like to leave for future generations who haven't experienced this historical event directly?
War should be avoided if at all possible. But should it ever come to our homeland, give it your all. Patience and perseverance. Go the distance.
Were there any long-term effects that the Vietnam War had on you personally or those around you?
Not me personally. I did lose a couple of good friends who were skippers on riverboats over there. They were first-class bosun's mates, and they were used to do ground support from the riverbanks, what they call PBRs, or patrol boat river. They had machine guns mounted on them. they were very exposed out there on the water, and the Viet Cong could launch attacks hidden in the jungles on the banks of the rivers there. So I did lose a couple of close friends over there.
Would you encourage future generations to fight for our country as you have, and why or why not?
Yes, I would. It's a great experience. There's a lot of opportunity for learning, for meeting people from all over the world, especially when you're in the Navy and you travel. Aboard that aircraft carrier, I was there for just a little over 3 years. We traveled to the Mediterranean, to several countries around the Mediterranean. We actually went into the North Atlantic inside the Arctic Circle in 1963. Visited ports in the North Atlantic in England, Scotland, and Ireland. Caribbean cruises was quite common for the aircraft carrier. And then the one Westpac cruise in 1965, we visited Singapore, Hong Kong, 2 cities in Japan, Sasebo and another that I can't remember the name of. We actually went down to Australia and got to visit Sydney. And again, we were home ported out of the Philippines, which is a very tropical place and very lovely. So I've met people from all around the world, and I still have friends from around the world that I talk to on the computer all the time. Australia, Cairo, Egypt, Italy, Romania, England. So it's a wonderful experience in the military, getting to meet so many people.
Is there anything you feel we haven't discussed or should be added to this interview? If so, do you have anything else to say?
Well, in the military, there's always the possibility of accidents. If you notice my legs, this did not come out of Vietnam. This came from a peacetime accident aboard a different ship. I had transferred off the carrier after I'd re-enlisted the second time. And I anchored a ship in Naples, Italy, and was taking on a third anchor and headed about halfway up when a 5-inch nylon rope parted, hit me behind the legs, shattering the bones and knocking them out through the front. So there's always potential for grave danger. If the line had caught me up here, it would probably have killed me, but as it was, I wound up spending almost 2 years in the hospital. I got full use of my legs back, but the older I get, the worse they are. So, it's just one of those things that is potential anywhere. The job that I did after I come out of the Navy, I worked on equipment, material handling equipment, and there has been fatal accidents from that. So it can happen in the civilian life just as easily as it can happen in the military. Any more questions?
I think that's all.
Well, ladies, it's been my privilege. Like I said, I enjoyed it. 13 and a half years total with my hospital time and all was given to the country, and I don't regret a second of it.